Effort from President Ramchandra Paudel, the parliament, which has been held hostage for some time now, has yet to resume operation. As main opposition, CPI-UML remains firm in its demand for formation of a high-level committee to probe the gold smuggling scam. Good evening, I'm Prarambha Dahal. Let's begin with the main stories. Police recommends filing cases against 238 individuals, including 4 former ministers, for their alleged involvement in the Lalita Niwas land grab scam. Political pressure to remove investigating officials. Juvenile correctional facilities across the country lacking basic facilities for health and education. Poor management of the centers with exceeding capacity. Of the 1,300 wild mushrooms found in Nepal, around 100 found poisonous. Annual deaths caused because of lack of awareness on edible and inedible mushrooms. And Team Nepal set to leave for Pakistan to participate in the Asia Cup for the first time. Historic opportunity for young Nepali cricketers to play Pakistan and India. The decisive meeting of the political parties represented at the parliament set for today has been postponed because of the absence of CPI-UML chairperson KP Sharma Oli. The principal level agreement between the parties failed to reach a conclusion, while the almost a month-long obstructions at the parliament was not cleared today as well. The meeting of the political parties failed to enter the formal discussions because of the absence of CPI-UML chairperson KP Sharma Oli. Based on the agreement to form a high-level committee for investigation into the gold smuggling case, the task force has already prepared a draft of the committee. Based on Monday evening's agreement among the parties, the task force has prepared a structure of jurisdictions of the committee. However, the draft prepared by the task force was not endorsed because of Oli's absence. The task force, including UML Parliamentary Party Deputy Speaker, Leader Subhash Chandra Nemang, Nepali Congress Chief Whip Ramesh Lekhak, and Samachar Center Chief Whip Hitaraj Pandey had prepared the draft of the high-level committee. However, according to Congress Chief Whip Lekhak, in a telephone conversation with Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal, UML Chair Oli had identified the need for additional talks. Parties represented at the parliament have expressed their dissatisfaction towards Oli's absence in today's meeting. Only yesterday, political parties had agreed to form a high-level investigation committee to probe the gold smuggling case without affecting the police investigations. As the parties failed to conclude the formation of the high-level committee, today's meeting of the House of Representatives was also postponed by issuing a notice. Meeting of the House has been postponed until 3 p.m. tomorrow, while an all-party meeting has been called for 11 a.m. A meeting of the National Assembly was also postponed following obstruction by main opposition CPI-UML after the formation of task force to investigate the gold smuggling scam was not concluded. Despite the government being positive towards the formation of the committee, the UML parliamentarians obstructed today's meeting as the committee is yet to be formed. National Assembly members of the ruling parties have alleged the main opposition, CPI-UML, of holding the House hostage. However, UML parliamentarians have reiterated that the government had not become serious on time, which has led to the extended obstructions at the parliament. Member of the National Assembly Khimlal Devkota has also called for formation of a commission to probe the fake Bhutanese refugee scam. Meeting of the National Assembly has been postponed until the 27th of August. The Central Investigation Bureau of Nepal Police has concluded a 3-year-long investigation into the infamous Lalita Niwas land scam and submitted a report of more than 700 pages to the District Government Attorney's Office. CIB had taken the case that the Government District Attorney's Office had returned some 4 years ago. The Bureau has listed 238 individuals as defendants for fraud and organized crime and concluded that 108 government officials, including secretaries and joint secretaries, had involvement in illegally transferring 143 rupees of the government land to private individuals. 4 ministers have been alleged of involvement, including former Minister for Physical Infrastructure Vijay Kumar Gachadar, Ministers for Land Reform Dambar Shrestha Chandradev Joshi, and the then State Minister Sanjay Shah. The Bureau has concluded 8 individuals had orchestrated the scam, including Ram Kumar Subedi, Sovakant Dhakal, Min Bahadur Gurung, Bhupendra Khesi, and Kailas Chandra Goel. 2 former Prime Ministers, Baburam Bhattrai and Madhav Kumar Nepal, have been listed as witnesses during the transactions. Meanwhile, the Bureau has excluded Secretary at the Ministry of Communications and Information Technology, Krishna Raut, from the list of defendants despite arresting him for investigation following pressure from leaders from CPNY Center that leads the ruling alliance. Likewise, the Bureau has also excluded Leela Mani Paudel, who served as Chief Secretary when the 3 Ropani land belonging to Samachar company was transferred to Guthi. The CIV investigation has recommended for the return of the 143 Ropani land and a fine of 18,359,500,000 rupees from the guilty. Sources at the Ministry of Home Affairs say Nepali Congress President Sherbahadur Dewa had been piling pressure to not recommend filing cases against former ministers and had even suggested transferring CIV Chief Kiran Bajracharya and SSP Dinesh Acharya when the Bureau stood firm on making the recommendations. It has been understood that a few officers investigating the fake Bhutanese refugee scam had been relieved from their posts following pressure by Nepali Congress, which provides ground to speculate that the District Government Attorney Office would remove a few names from the list of defendants under pressure from the party. Now, minors that have committed crimes are sent to juvenile centers with a view to improve their morale and re-establish them or reintegrate them in the society. However, the lives of those detained in juvenile centers are at risk amid absence of basic facilities, while they are also deprived of education. A minor detained in the juvenile center in Bhaktapur died on Sunday, which has raised questions on the state of the juvenile centers. The family of a 19-year-old boy from Ramechhap who was detained in a juvenile center in Bhaktapur died on Sunday while he was suffering from fever and cysts. They have blamed that the boy was not treated on time. Grievances have been poured against this juvenile center last year for their indifference towards the spread of transmittable communicable diseases like tuberculosis, fungal infection, and scabies, among others. However, the operator of the juvenile center, UCEP Nepal, had denied the accusations. 4 out of the total 8 juvenile centers across the country are being operated by non-governmental organization UCEP Nepal, while the remaining 4 are operated by the government. All the juvenile centers are overcrowded, as 1,100 minors being held in 8 centers across the country. There are more than 844 prisoners in 4 juvenile jails operated by UCEP Nepal. The government has remained indifferent towards improvement of the inmates, while concerned ministries have admitted their failure in proper management. The government provided 80 rupees and 700 grams of rice to the inmates of the juvenile centers on a daily basis. There is provision to ensure access to education until the 10th grade for the inmates. However, they are deprived of higher education in the center. The operators of the center say they had raised voices in this regard on several occasions. However, it has gone unheard. The Ministry of Women, Children and Senior Citizens presented to the Cabinet the policy related to child reform, protection and rights. However, the policy has yet to be endorsed, which has obstructed the management of juvenile centers. Now, apart from this, the juvenile centers are being operated under the Child Act that was introduced in the Nepali year 2075 BS and the regulation of 2078 BS, which is inadequate for recent times. Prior to 2075 BS, children below the age of 16 were only sent to juvenile centers. However, the age bar was increased to 18 years in the Nepali month of Assos of 2075. Now, juvenile centers currently have inmates of 18 to 26 years as well. This has further increased the problems in managing the centers. The concerned ministry itself is confused amid lack of clear regulations in this regard. Similar incidents had been reported from Rupandehi and Kaski in the past amid lack of coordination among the ministries. A juvenile center had been established in Novasta of Bake 7 months ago to address this issue. However, a decision has not been made due to lack of coordination among the concerned ministries. In our Public Voice segment, today we have asked in several provinces regarding the role of parents and guardians in protecting children from addiction. Let us now take a look at what they had to say.
पहिला पैसा दिएको छु मैले पैसा कहाँ खर्च गर्यो किन खर्च गर्यो के आवश्यकता पर्यो त्यसको हिसाब किताब बुवाआमालाई दिनु पर्यो
आमा बुवाले बच्चा माथि विचार गर्नु पर्यो मेरो बच्चा कहाँ जान लाग्छ के गर्दै छैन अब त्यसको लागि अब बच्चाले यतिकै छोड्दिनु त मिलेन
परिवारले चाहिँ सही तरिकाले चाहिँ आफ्नो बालबालिकालाई नियन्त्रण गर्ने
आफ्नो बच्चाहरुलाई चाहिँ हामीले चाहिँ एकदमै फ्रेन्डली बिहेभ गर्नु पर्यो
बाबुआमाले छोराछोरीलाई पैसा दिदैन भने त्यो ट्रस्ट र केही गाजा चरस र यो के भन्छ हिरोइन खान पर्दैन।
जतिसक्यो धेरै कम्युनिकेसन चाहिँ एकदमै जरुरी हुन्छ।
मोबाइलका पक्ष पनि कुनै राम्रा छन् कुनै नराम्रा छन्, त्यसमा आउने विषयवस्तुहरू त्यसलाई चाहिँ हामीले कन्ट्रोल गर्नु पर्यो।
उसको इच्छा चाहना रुचिलाई पूरा गर्दै जानेर ध्यान दिने हो भने धेरै फाइदा हुन्छ।
बालबालिकाले कस्तो व्यवहार गरिराखेको छ उसको नियमित हेरविचार गर्नु पर्यो।
पहिले गर्ने काम र अहिले गर्ने काममा कति फरक आयो, कस्तो व्यवहार फरक देखाउँदैछ उसले, त्यो आफूले जान्नु पर्ने हुन्छ।
स्कुलमा पनि गएर चाहिँ यसो चियो चर्चो अथवा शिक्षकहरूसँग चाहिँ सोधपुछ गर्ने।
Newly appointed Chief Justice Vishwambar Prasad Shrestha has decided to implement an automated system to set dates for court hearings. Now, after being administered his oath of office and secrecy by President Ramchandra Paudel, Shrestha made his first decision, which was to implement the automated system. Following the decision, the procedure for setting dates for hearings at the Supreme Court will be automated. Speaking with journalists after assuming office, Chief Justice Shrestha said that process for appointment of judges at all tiers of the judiciary would begin from tomorrow itself. He also shared the commitment of working with the objective of producing results and creating a trustworthy environment by curbing the suspicions on the judiciary, saying that it was not possible to ensure the implementation of court verdicts only with the effort of the judiciary. Shrestha also called for a cess from the executive. Mushrooms are seen in plenty at forests and agricultural fields during monsoon. Now, these mushrooms are attractive with beautiful colors and shapes. However, such mushrooms can even take human lives. Around 25 people die every year in Nepal because of eating poisonous mushrooms. Of the 11 individuals who had fallen seriously ill after consuming wild mushrooms in Nisti rural municipality of Palpa, 6 had died in the Nepali month of Jyeshtha of 2076 BS. 2 months later, 3 members of a single family died in Rolpa. A mother and her daughter lost their lives after eating wild mushroom in Bangala Chuli, rural municipality of Dang earlier this year. The number of deaths because of consuming wild mushrooms has been increasing annually. According to the Department of Herbs, around 1,300 species of mushrooms are found in Nepal. Of them, around 100 are poisonous. The mushrooms considered most poisonous in the world are also found in Nepal. Experts are of the opinion that poison of such mushrooms cannot be reduced by drying them or through other means. Eating such mushrooms can cause weaknesses, nausea, dizziness, and even death. Of the wild mushrooms, around 160 are edible as well. They are rich in protein and can reduce the risks of cancer as well. However, the government has yet to increase public awareness regarding the edible and inedible mushrooms, which has led to annual deaths. It is now time for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
Before we ask today's question, let us take a look at the result from yesterday's poll. Yesterday we were asked, why is there the delay in upgrading works of highways? 47% were for A, government not providing budget, 46% were for B, negligence by contractors, and 7% were for C, procedural delays. And here is our today's question. Why have former prime ministers not been made defendants in the Lalita Niwas land grab scam? Your options are A, to protect them, B, fear of being caught, and C, not considered necessary. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us.
Sports News.
Only a few days remain for the accomplishment of the 3-decade-long dream of Nepali national cricket team. Having embarked on the international cricket journey in the year 1996, Nepal is a neighbor of cricket powerhouses India and Pakistan. However, Nepal had never had the opportunity of playing against these sides. Team Nepal, led by 20-year-old Rohit Paudel, are now set to feature in the Asia Cup for the first time, where they will play India and Pakistan. After entering the final of the ACC Trophy in Singapore in 2002, Nepal had qualified for the Asia Cup for the first time. However, that tournament was cancelled because of India-Pakistan conflict, which meant Nepal missed out on the opportunity of playing strong sides like India and Pakistan in just 6 years of international cricket journey. Despite rumors of the potential cancellation of the Asia Cup this time as well, Nepal have the opportunity of playing India and Pakistan after both nations agreed to play at a neutral venue. Team Nepal are the youngest side to play in the Asia Cup and their average age is only 22 years. The young side has been playing outstanding cricket in the past 6 months. With 11 wins out of last 12 matches of the League 2, Nepal have retained their one-day international status until 2027. An impressive performance from Sita Rana Magar helped Team Nepal mark a winning start with a 6-wicket win over Hong Kong at the Women's 2020 International Series involving 4 nations. In the match played at the Biomass Cricket Ground, Nepal won the toss and elected to field. Hong Kong were bowled out for a paltry 84 runs in 19.1 overs as Sita Rana Magar picked 5 wickets. Skipper Kerry Chan top scored with 34 runs from Hong Kong, while Dorothea Chan added 16. 8 Hong Kong batters failed to score in double digits as Nepali bowlers displayed an impressive performance. That is all for the moment. Up next is the news in Nepali. Thank you for staying with us. Goodbye for now.